Hello and welcome to CGN Live on this beautiful Thursday afternoon. I guess it is noon. This is the weekly show we do over here at CGN, and gonna wait for some more people to trickle in here. If you're here though, please say hello in the chat. I appreciate that. Make sure you know that you can see and hear me okay. Need to fix this beard a little bit. But yes, my name is Taylor of Taylor Talks Comics, and I host this weekly show called CGN Live, where we go weekly. I always mess it up. We go live weekly to talk about the comic books and graphic novels that we will have on sale over at cheapgraphicnovels.com starting the following Monday. James Abel's in the house, the super producer. What's up, my man? So I did go live a couple of days ago because we also go live once a month to go over the pre-order catalog. And that was a great show. We did it on Tuesday evening, I believe. So if you go into the live tab over on our YouTube channel, which is what you're viewing this from right now, I'm sure, you can check that out if you want to see the replay. The June pre-order catalog included a lot of books that are coming out all throughout the rest of the year, from like July all the way to June, depending on the publishers and how they solicited their books. Hold on just a moment. Sorry, we had some audio interference. I don't want to mess up the show. Yeah, so we on Tuesday evening we went over the June pre-order catalog. So make sure you check that out if you want to see all the books that we'll have on sale. Like I said, from July all the way through January. And that's not all the books we have on sale. Those are just the ones that have been solicited into the catalogs by all of the publishers. We'll have those. We have those catalogs every month. So the July pre-order catalog will be coming out too. So I do a weekly show where I go over the books that are coming out the following week, and then once a month I do that live show to go over the pre-order catalog, because you are still able to pre-order books through CGN, which is the best way to ensure that these books make it onto your shelf, especially the limited edition signed and autographed, those versions and stuff. You want to make sure you pre-order those because those are in limited quantities, and we can't promise that we'll have a ton to have on sale the day the books come out. So yes, the books that we talked about today will be coming out on Monday, June 5th. We'll have them on sale, and they're always on sale and up on the website every Monday evening, unless there's a holiday or something, which this past week we had Memorial Day. Yes, Rodimus Prime Rib. Hope all is well. Thank you. Same to you, my man. Except for this past Monday, because it's Memorial Day, so we can't control when the post office and all those places are open. So yeah, every Monday evening they go on sale. The best way to find out when they go on sale, the minute they go on sale, is to follow us on social media at Twitter and Instagram. You can follow us at CheapGN. On Facebook, you can search for Cheap Graphic Novels, and you'll find us that way. The way that works is that on Mondays, Max, the guy that runs the show over at CGN, I'm just a social media guy. Max is the one that runs the show. And whenever he has the books ready to go, he'll text message me and say, hey, the books are up. And then I already have a post locked and ready to go. And I immediately make that post the minute they're on sale. And then you can know when to buy your books. We got Space Monkey in the house. Hello. Hello. So yeah, and then make sure you give this video a thumbs up. I appreciate that. And subscribe. And make sure you share this with your friends. Our subscriber count is growing at a more rapid pace, it seems like. So I appreciate that. It's kind of hard to grow this channel because we only do like live shows, and that's not very YouTube algorithm friendly. I don't know why I'm holding the mic today. I'm trying this out. Make sure the audio sounds a little bit better. But yeah, the YouTube doesn't. Their algorithm doesn't really like live shows, I guess. That's what I hear. I don't know. So they don't really share those into people's feeds when they're like looking for new videos and whatnot. So the fact that we're able to grow the subscriber count that we have is pretty nice, and I appreciate you guys' support. I love seeing the familiar faces in the chat too. I really appreciate that. Feed, hold on. Okay, I'm back. And then one more thing, we have a weekly newsletter, and that goes out every Monday morning, I believe, and I get to write that, and it's really exciting. I love comics. I love writing about comics. My background is in writing, so anytime I'm able to stretch those muscles, I guess, and write about comics, I appreciate. And I love that the feedback I've been getting on the newsletter. But that goes out every Monday, and I'll show you when I get to the website here. When I start showing it how to subscribe if you haven't already. And then of all the plugs that I've given, Twitter, Instagram, the newsletter, Facebook page, those are the best way to find out if we have any good sales going on right now, or if we have any new books that are up, or books that maybe you didn't know were coming out, that kind of thing. So you want to make sure that you're following us on all those avenues to make sure you don't miss out on that. And right now we do have a Conan the Barbarian sale going on. All of our Conan books are 55% off, which is a huge discount. And I just want to emphasize that, yes, Titan Comics has the license for Conan right now. And they will be printing all of the original Marvel years in the Savage Sword of Conan magazine, Omnibus collections. Sorry, I can't talk. Omnibus collections. But they have released via Near Mint Conditions website, or Near Mint Conditions YouTube channel, sorry, and all of their social media, the trade dress for those omnibuses, and they're going to match the ones for Marvel. The only difference is, like, they'll have like the red banner at the top of the omnibus spine, like if you're familiar with Marvel omnibuses. The only difference is it's going to say Titan Comics instead. So they're going to look nice on the shelf. And the reason why I'm saying this is because if you're wanting to collect the whole set, it might be a good idea just to get these Marvel ones that we have on discounted sale, the omnibuses, because they will match even if you fill in all the gaps with the Titan versions, and they're going to be a lot cheaper this way because they're discounted at 55% off the Marvel prices, and it appears that Titan's prices will either be the same as what Marvel was or maybe a little bit more expensive. And then on top of that, the discounts that we will be able to offer you guys will be less of a discount for Titan than we were able to provide for Marvel. Marvel books and DC books are usually 40% off because that's what the publisher, that's the kind of discount that they give us to give to you guys. Titan is not as much because they're a smaller publisher and they can't provide the kind of discount because they don't have the overhead that Marvel and DC do. So the discount that you're gonna be able to get from these buying the Titan books, even through CGN, will be a little bit more expensive. So my advice would be to get these Marvel versions, fill in those gaps with the Titan versions when they come out, and they're still gonna look nice on your shelf. So all of the preamble out of the way, let's talk comics. If you're in the chat, please let me know what comics you have been reading lately. Let me know what comic books you're excited that are coming out soon. And yeah, all that good stuff. So I'm going to share my screen now. And make sure it's in the format that I like, which is that one. There we go. All right, so this is the front page of the Cheap Graphic Novels website. And real quickly, I just like to point out the scrolling banner you see there. We have a Nick and Dent sale live right now, which is still going. There's a June catalog pre-orders. That's the one I went over on the video the other day. And then Conan the Barbarian, 55% off sale. That's how you access that. But I'm going to scroll down at the bottom here on the front page to show you guys the best way to subscribe to the newsletter. You just type in your email address right there and hit subscribe. You're going to get a confirmation email sent to your inbox where you'll need to confirm that to let us know that you actually do want that newsletter. Make sure you check your spam folder too. I've heard some of those confirmations have been going into spam folders. But like I said, those are new weekly newsletters, and then also we throw in special surprise newsletters, if you will, whenever we have a sale going on. I do have a June pre-order catalog newsletter coming out sometime this week as well. So if you subscribe, you'll get that. In those newsletters, I get to type in, write up my top 5 picks of the week, and then my exclusive Taylor Talks Comics pick of the week, where I pick a book from more of a underrated publisher, maybe a lesser known publisher, if you will. And I did that for the June pre-order catalog. So I put my top 5 books, what I think the biggest 5 releases are, and then also my exclusive Taylor Talks Comics pick of the month. So make sure you get that. Just got shipping notice on Marvel Masterworks Spider-Man #1. So that's the remasterworks Space Monkey. That's exciting too. I'm glad that they're reprinting a lot of those for Marvel Masterworks collectors. Space Monkey, I'm curious. Do you already have the volume 1 of ASM #1, or are you a big Masterworks collector, or is this the beginning of your new collection? Omar from Near My Condition did show off the remasterworks and compared it to an older version to show you like what changes they made and what they've done to it. So it does look like a beautiful collection, and it has a bunch of extra stuff in it too. So it's awesome that you got that. Hey, is this the place where they give out free comics? No, it is not. I wish we could, though. I love comics, and I wish everyone can have all the comics they want. Just started last night, Deadly Class Readathon, as the last deluxe comes out at the end of June. Never have read it, so it should be fun. Rodimus Prime Rib, we are in the same boat. I actually have the same exact boat. I have the first 3 deluxe editions. I've been waiting to get closer to the time that the 4th one comes out before I start reading it. And I know I'm going to love this series. It's so up my alley. I love teenage melodrama. I love punk rock aesthetics, the punk rock aesthetics that are in there. I love Rick Remender's like the nihilistic themes that he puts in his stories. And then the fact that it's like an assassin school. Everything about it is right up my alley. So I'll be shocked if I don't like it. But yes, I also need to start that. I actually have volume 1 bedside right now that I need to start reading. For that reason, though, I've been waiting till this 4th one, closer to the time the 4th one comes out, so that I can read it all at once. Also, what is Spider-Man Beyond? Is it $20.99? We'll talk about that when we get to the books here. I think that might be the first book we talk about. And no, it's not $20.99. It's a new series by Zeb Wells. And recently got 4 volumes of the Simon and Kirby Library. Oh man, I'm jealous. Okay, so those are the crime, horror, science fiction, and superheroes. I'm jealous of those. I do want those. I used to have the crime one, or maybe no, I used to have science fiction. It's a volume I used to have. Maybe crime. I had 2 of them. But I want them back. I had to do a big purge one year when we moved into a smaller, like we sold our house and moved into a smaller apartment. There's a whole housing market thing that we're trying to win. I don't know, a whole big long story. But I had to purge a bunch of books. And then we've now since bought a new house, and I have a bigger space for my library, and I need to get those back before they go. They're all out of print, but they're not super expensive. I wonder if we have any in stock actually. But yeah, I love the chat. Obviously, you can ask any questions you want. Any questions that you have for me, I'll be able to answer most every question. I won't be able to answer anything about your specific order. If you have a certain order from CGN that you're looking for, or wanting to know the status of, I'm actually not in California where the CGN warehouse is. I live in the Midwest, so I'm very far away. But I'll be able to answer if we have any certain books in stock right now, when certain books are coming out, the prices of certain books, my opinion on certain comic books, if you want to know that. I'll be able to answer any of those types of questions. So feel free to flood the chat with questions. I love talking to you guys. I love making this as interactive as possible. I really look forward to doing this show every week for that reason. And we've been getting a good amount of regular viewers, and I appreciate that too. I get to know your guys' tastes and what you guys are collecting at the time, and that kind of thing. And now let's get to the books. So up first we have the Amazing Spider-Man. I think it's just called the Amazing Spider-Man Beyond Omnibus. Okay. And we have 3 cover options for this one. This first one is by, I believe it's Roberto Ramos. And then the second DM cover has Craven on it. And then the standard edition cover is from the first issue of the run. So let me zoom in on some of these covers here. So direct market variant, which is just DM, the DM variant covers, just to let you guys know, those are all that means is these covers are exclusive to the direct market, and the direct market just means comic book shops. So CGN is a comic book shop. So anything you see that says DM on it, CGN is one of the only places you'll be able to get these covers. It'll be a CGN, any other sort of comic book shop retailer online, or your local comic book shop. The standard edition cover will be available everywhere, including the book market, which is like Amazon, Barnes and Noble, that kind of thing. And then also the comic book shops. This is the Spider-Man Beyond series. This is the beginning of the Zeb Wells run, I believe. I know it's the modern run that's happening right now. And it includes Amazing Spider-Man 75 through 93, 78 BEY, which stands for Beyond. Also looks like Bay. 78 Bay, 80 Bay, 88 Bay, 92 Bay. Mary Jane and Black Cat Beyond, and material from Amazing Spider-Man 74 and Free Comic Book Day. So it's the Beyond. It's like an event book, I guess. That I think it was the one that bridged the gap between Nick Spencer and Zeb Wells. And Patrick Gleason's one of the main artists on this. This will be on sale Monday evening, and it carries a cover price of $100. But if you shop with CGN, you can get it 40% off for only $59.99, and that is the price of all three cover versions of the same book. And it's just the dust jacket that's different on these. The contents and the actual book itself, even the cover underneath the dust jacket, will be the same for all of these. The only difference is the dust jacket, and they're all the same price, and they'll all be on sale on Monday. But yeah, I do like that Marvel is putting out these modern runs. The Omnibus format's my preferred format to read these stories, so it's really cool to have these modern runs. I mean, this run right here was hitting single issues on the racks just last year, so it's pretty cool to have that as an option pretty much right away. Yep, starting the MNW line. Well, I have been collecting X-Men line since the beginning. Oh, so you have all the X-Men Masterworks. That's cool. Yeah, the Masterworks is a great format to collect them in. That is the format that Marvel pumps the most money into as far as like restoration goes and stuff. And then any other format gets like the benefit afterwards. Like Epic Collections and Omnibuses get those high quality restoration scans afterwards if they've been through the Masterworks program. And I've been buying the new ones from series that I can get from Volume 1, Tomb of Dracula, Werewolf. But the older ones, I am jumping on the remasterworks. Okay, so you're sort of like piecing things together here. I like that. I don't have any Masterworks, but I will tell you that I'm going to buy I used to have some back in the day, so I'm going to buy my first one in a long time. This year when Omega the Unknown comes out. I'm a huge Steve Gerber fan, and Omega the Unknown was such a short-lived series that it's only going to be one Masterworks volume, unless they do like the more modern series in a later volume, but that'll be like years down the road. So it's going to be just one volume basically of the Steve Gerber stuff, and it'll never be in an omnibus probably unless they do a Steve Gerber omnibus, which would be awesome. I would totally buy that. And I can't see them doing like a gallery edition or oversized hardcover of it. So this is probably going to be the best format to own Omega the Unknown in. So I'm really excited about that. But yeah, some of those like Tomb of Dracula, Werewolf by Night and stuff, I've been kind of tempted to go the Masterworks route, but I think I'm going to wait for those to hit Epic Collections, or maybe the omnibuses get reprinted. Like I know those the Tomb of Dracula has been put into complete collections, but David Gabriel's already kind of tipped his hat in the Near Mint Condition Saturday streams, letting everybody know that eventually those will be put into Epic Collections. Looking forward to the Omega one, something I've never heard of. Yeah, Omega the Unknown is a really, really kind of obscure character that Steve Gerber's the one that, like, he's the guy that co-created Howard the Duck and Man-Thing. He didn't co-create Man-Thing. He's the one that had the first long run on Man-Thing, though. So that Man-Thing omnibus has like 30 to 40 issues written by Steve Gerber. But he also had like a long runs on the Defenders, and he had a long run on the original Guardians of the Galaxy. But he's just a guy that I love all of his writing and his work. He's a fascinating figure in comics in general. I just talked about his Destroyed Duck book that came out a couple weeks ago on this channel. I talked about it. But yeah, Omega the Unknown was like this obscure character that he created, and it got the series I want to say it only lasted 8 issues, but then they let Steve Gerber wrap up the story of Omega the Unknown in a couple issues of the Defenders. So I think that book includes all of that, all the issues that Omega the Unknown appeared in. But he's one of those characters that if I was writing for Marvel, I would definitely bring him back. But like he's one of those obscure characters that I would love to, I don't know, be able to write some stuff for. But yeah, keep up the chat, man. I like the questions and the comments here. All right, up next we have Go Go Power Rangers Deluxe Edition, Volume 2 hardcover. So Boom Studios has been pumping out these Power Rangers Deluxe Editions. And last year we got the Go Go Power Rangers Volume 1. This is Go Go Power Rangers Volume 2, obviously. This is written by Ryan Parrott. And this was this series, Go Go Power Rangers, was running subsequently with the Mighty Morphin series. The Mighty Morphin series that Kyle Higgins was writing. And that's the one that everybody talks about that like kind of relaunched Power Rangers into the comics medium and had a pretty big following. They had like the Lord Drakon series or character that was introduced in that series, but it took like the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, that original series that we all love about Power Rangers, right? There was like the Super Sentai footage, but this was like the first English edition of that series, and it was called Mighty Morphin Power Rangers in 1993, I think. So Kyle Higgins took those same characters and adapted them into a comic book and kind of like rebooted it, if you will, and kind of fleshed out these characters more. Really, really great series. Ryan Parrott then was writing subsequently Go Go Power Rangers, and then he eventually takes over for Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. And they're on like issue like 100 now of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. But regardless, this collects Go Go Power Rangers 17 through 32, and then the Go Go Power Rangers Forever Rangers. So I think in total, I think we're up to like 7 of these deluxe hardcovers. So that's just really awesome that Boom is dedicated to that. And then up next, we have the Jodorowsky Library. These books I love. I've showed these extensively on previous live broadcasts. I don't have any with me within my reach, or else I'd show off some more of them. But this is the 6th volume. And these Jodorowsky Library editions are collecting from Humanoids, collecting all the stories written by Alejandro Jodorowsky. And they've been great. Like they're literally collecting everything. So far, we don't have any editions that have like the big ones like Incal or the full Meta Barons. Those haven't been collected in this format, if you will. But I'd be shocked if they weren't eventually to have the whole set. But this one includes some Moebius work, which is amazing. So Moebius is the French cartoonist who drew the Incal, which was a story written by Alejandro Jodorowsky. And Moebius is just a master cartoonist. He's super influential. I think he's one of the top 10 most influential artists in comics ever. Just amazing, amazing work. So he draws the story Mad Woman of the Sacred Heart, which is collected in here. And there's also Twisted Tales, which is drawn by the iconic Francois Bouc. I can't say that. I butchered that. I try to get these foreign names down, but if I've never heard it pronounced somewhere else, then I can't do it. But these are great. These are like, I think this thinnest one was like 200 some pages, but 200 some pages to 400, 500 page thick, standard size hardcovers. They're a little bit wider than your normal comic book though, because they are European albums, but they're standard size hardcovers. But just a great way to collect all this amazing artwork. Alejandro Jodorowsky also only worked with like the best of the best artists. And his stories are just way like out there and like super high concept. I love all of his stories. I've never read any story written by him that I didn't love and wasn't like kind of blown away from, or just like kind of surprised that someone can come up with some of these concepts. But this will be $31.99 if you order through CGN next week. That'll be 20% off, and it'll come out on Monday. And I don't think I gave the price for Go Go Power Rangers. Go Go Power Rangers Volume 2 deluxe edition will be $56.25. That's 25% off the cover price. Sorry about that. I had to unplug my Alexa. Anytime I do this show from this room, the Alexa goes off. I don't say anything close. Did I say anything close to Alexa? But she's just telling me some price of some odd thing. Very strange. She's listening to everything I'm saying. But I unplugged it, so we should be good to go. Bum, bum, ba, dum, bum, ba, dum, bum. Love the Johto-verse. The Meta Barons is so good. I agree, Rodimus Prime Reb. And I love it. So I love everything Joe Dvorsky writes. And I've talked about it so much on the show. If you've been any longtime viewers of CGN Live, have known that I've shown off these. I went on a tangent one time and talked about it for like 25 minutes. Showed off all my Joe Dvorsky books. I wish I knew what episode that was. I would plug it. But I agree. And the Meta Barons and the Incal are both two great gateways into the Johto-verse. Which, if you don't know, the Johto-verse, that's just all of Joe Dvorsky's stories, and there's like a lot of them tied together. But the Meta Barons is a great gateway into that. Has great artwork by Juan Jimenez, and then the Incal has got the great artwork from Moebius. So both of them are great ones. Moebius is a genius. I agree. What happened? He left. Sorry, Alexa was interrupting me. I didn't want her to have any sort of. I didn't want her to have the spotlight here, so I had to shut her down. All right, so that's the Joe Dvorsky library. Then we have Spider Woman by Dennis Hopeless, the complete collection. So this is going to be a thicker trade paperback. This is the Dennis Hopeless series written by Dennis Hopeless. The Greg Land is one of the artists on it. $29.99 will be 40% off, and it includes Spider Woman 1 through 10, Spider Woman 1 through 5, and 8 through 17, and material from Amazing Spider-Man 1. So you're looking at 9, 10, 15, 25 issues. So this would be a really thick collection. 25 issues into this one trade paperback of this more modern Spider-Woman story. I have not read that. Let me know in the chat if you've read that. I'd be curious to hear people's thoughts on it. Then we have another compendium for Invincible. This is the first time we've had a compendium for the Invincible universe outside of just the main three. So the main three compendiums collect the entirety of the Invincible series, but which I think was like 164 issues, 160 issues. I don't know. Someone in the chat, let me know. I know it's a long series, but they also had spin-offs and stuff like that for within the universe that Robert Kirkman wrote with various artists outside of just Cory Walker and Ryan Otley, who were the main artists on Invincible. These were different artists, but this includes a lot of the spin-offs. Includes Invincible Presents Adam Eve 1 and 2, Invincible Presents Adam Eve and Rex Explode 1 through 3, Guarding the Globe Volume 1 1 through 6, and Guarding the Globe Volume 2 1 through 6, and then Invincible Universe 1 through 12. So we're looking at 24, 27, 29 issues of comics within this one trade paperback, and it will be only $27.99. That'll be 30% off the cover price. We got Low Hit chiming in here. I heard good things on Hopeless Spider Woman. I will check it out. Yeah, I know. I don't want to put names to it, but I know on Omar's channel, he's going through the catalog for solicitations when that came up, which he's going live actually at 1 today over at Near My Conditions YouTube channel. So I'm the what do you call that? The lead-in for the big show, if you will. But I know when he brought it up, a lot of the people on his show, he has like a whole panel of guys and gals that talk about the comics that are coming out and stuff. And I forget who it was, but there's a few people really hyping up that series. I just don't want to put names to it because I don't want you guys to be like, oh, this guy said it was good. But I do know people were praising that series. So Low Hit has also heard the same things. Up next, we've got Generation X Epic Collection, The Secret of M trade paperback. This is the third volume of Generation X. They've been pumping these out one a year, and they've been going chronological order with these. So this will be the third volume. Volumes 1 and 2 are already out. And if you want me to check to see if those are in stock, I absolutely will. Just throw that into the chat or the comments below if you're watching this later. This is a big one for me personally because Jim Mahfood, his name is on the cover there. Just really cool to see Jim Mahfood, one of my favorite, more underground independent cartoonists. To see his name on a Marvel Epic collection is really cool. And he only does one issue in here, but it's the annual. It's the Generation X Underground #1. It's a big annual that he did in the mid '90s. I forget who it was. Was it Bob Harris? I don't remember. The X-Men editor at the time found Jim Mahfood at a convention and really liked his work. And then him and Mahfood linked up, and Mahfood was going to do this annual for Generation X. And it was so cool. Like, this book is so unlike anything else Marvel was doing at the time, ever did at the time. Like, things that you see, like Ed Piskor and Jim Rugg and Tom Scioli doing like the grand design projects now. Like, that's kind of, this was like the precursor to that, was because it's just somebody from totally outside of the big two coming in and working on a Marvel project. It was super cool. But that is how Kevin Smith, the director of Clerks and Mallrats, how he found Jim Mahfood's work, because he read Generation X Underground #1 back when it came out, and he found Mahfood, and that's how he linked up with Mahfood to do Clerks, the Clerks comics. So really cool story there. But regardless, this is the third volume of Generation X. I'm a huge fan of. Oh, okay. Low Hits chimed in with. Your pal Jess Bragg said it's good too. Okay, I thought he was one of the. Correction, our pal. Yes, Jess Bragg. He's a great guy. Omnidog's Vault on YouTube. I thought he was one of the people, but I didn't know. I didn't want to put his name to it. But I thought he was one of the guys that was praising it. So yeah, Generation X, this is really cool. And Volume 4 of Generation X Epic Collections has already been solicited to come out next June. So it's like every June we're getting a new Generation X Epic Collection. Super, super cool. Especially if you're a 90s comics kid. We have Turning Japanese Expanded Edition hardcover. This one is by Oni Press. The writer and artist on this is Mari Naomi. It says, here's the premise. The year is 1995. Fresh out of a long-term relationship, 22-year-old Mari Naomi finds herself amidst a flurry of major life changes. Newly immersed in the Pan-Asian diaspora of San Jose, California, half Japanese, Mari searches for connections to a culture that has so far eluded her. It doesn't take long for Mari to find a new love and new job as a hostess bar for Japanese expats in a bid to learn the English language. So it looks like a coming-of-age auto-bio comic. And this is the expanded edition, so this has probably been previously released, I'm assuming. And it is a hardcover. It'll be $22.49 if you order through cheapgraphicnovels.com next Monday. Then we have Anias Nin, A Sea of Lies from Fantagraphic Books. The writer and artist on this is Leonie Bischoff. And this will be $22.49 if you order through CGN next week. In Life, Sensuous Colored Pencils, this international prize-winning, impressionistic graphic biography traces the life, the affairs, and the artistic process of Anias Nin, one of the best-known authors of women's erotica. In the 1920s and 30s, Anias Nin, the author of works such as Delta of Venus and House of Incest, is the patron saint of taboo, breaking pop culture, sexual iconoclasts. So this is a biography of the author of those popular stories from back in the day. It'll be $22.49, and that's from Fantagraphic Books. We have Lore Olympus, Volume 4 hardcover. These are the this is Random House Worlds. So it must be an imprint of Random House. But this is the super popular all ages comic, I believe. And Rachel Smythe is the writer and artist on this. An ingenious take on the Greek pantheon, Lore Olympus is a modern update to the story of Hades and Persephone, Follow the propulsive love story of two Greek gods told with lavish artwork and contemporary sensibilities. These are full color editions, and it collects episodes 76 through 102, and number one webtoon comic lore Olympus. So these were on webtoons originally, but now they're being collected in hardcovers. So that's really cool. So many lovely keywords on that. Yes, Lois. It was throwing me for a loop there. I didn't know how deep that was about to go. Pantheon Books is putting out Boys Weekend hardcover. This is writer and artist on this is Maddie Lubchansky. And this will be $22.99, 25% off the cover price if you order through CGN. Part satire, part horror. Boys Weekend explores what it's like to exist as a trans femme person in a man's world, the difficulty of maintaining friendships through transition, and the more cult-like effects of masculinity. Hustle culture and capitalism, all through a vibrant lens of a surreal, scary, and immensely imaginative romp. So that sounds really awesome. That's what I was picking up when I was looking through all the books this week. Is there's a lot of these more independent graphic novels coming out next week. It's kind of a big week for those kinds of things. Hood. So I need someone to help me out with this one. I was looking through this, and I've never heard of this series. Low Hit, I know you're in the chat. Maybe you can let me know. I've never heard of the series at all, but it is from Marvel Comics, and that's what kind of threw me for a loop because I was reading the description. I'm like, oh, this must be Image or something, but then it says Marvel Universe, and then I was very confused. So it's Hood, the saga of Parker Robbins trade paperback. This is by Brian K. Vaughan, and the artist is Kyle Hotz and Max Fiamara. And includes the Hood 1 through 6, Dark Reign, the Hood 1 through 5, and material from Dark Reign, the Cabal. So the thing that also threw me for a loop is that Dark Reign was a new event with Daredevil from Chip Zdarsky's run. So I didn't know Brian K. Vaughan was writing more recent Marvel comics, unless it's a different Dark Reign. Like, someone let me know. I'm really confused by this. I've never heard of this, and it's not often that I've never heard of a Marvel comic. But it'll include about 12 issues, 11 issues in the material from another one. With great power comes great opportunity. So it's a little play on the Peter Parker, with great power comes great responsibility line from Uncle Ben. I know I didn't say that exactly. If Sandwichism's in the chat, please don't kill me. I didn't say the exact quote from the great Stan Lee. Okay, here, Lohut's helping me out here. I know the character, the Hood. He has a Marvel Legends figure too. I've never heard of this series. Okay, see what is going on here. BKV can't be bad. I agree. Brian K. Vaughan is a great writer. But what is the series? I've never heard of this. Maybe I need to ask Omar. I'll text him later. But here's a premise. With a pregnant girlfriend, a demanding mistress, and an institutionalized mother to care for, Parker Robbins can barely make ends meet. So when a small-time crook finds mystical apparel that grants him strange powers, he decides to forego organized crime for the more prestigious and financially rewarding world of costumed villainy. All right, so I don't know. I need to know more about the series. I was looking through the solicits, and I was like, whoa, what is this thing? That'll be $20.99, and like I said, that's about 12 issues collected in there, 40% off. Strangers in Paradise Volume 1. This is a new format, a new printing of Strangers in Paradise from Abstract Studios, which is Terry Moore's independent self-publishing publisher, I guess. I don't want to sound redundant there, but Strangers of Paradise has been released in, single issues, and then it was like you had like these digest manga size books back in the day, which I don't know the trim size for this one. I can look it up if someone really wants to know. And then it was released as a 2-volume hardcover in a slipcase, and also paperbacks in a 2-volume paperbacks in a slipcase. And now they're re-releasing it in these more affordable trade paperbacks. I don't know how many volumes it'll be. I wonder if it says here. Yes, 4 exciting volumes. All right. The multi-award winning series Strangers in Paradise gets a brand new update in 4 exciting volumes. So this will be 4. They'll be thicker trade paperbacks, but they're not as thick as obviously the 2-volume slipcase. They're going to be half that size each. Strangers in Paradise is the compelling love story of 3 unlikely friends who find themselves bound together by their pasts. Kachu is a beautiful young woman living in a spare bedroom of her high school friend. Francine, brash and outspoken, Kachu makes no secret of her love for Francine, but that's not an option for the shy, insecure woman who looks for Prince Charming in a series of bad boyfriends. Enter David, a gentle but persistent artist who seems determined to win Kachu's heart. The resulting triangle is a touching comedy of romantic errors that takes the trio down the complicated road of murder, mayhem, and love. And that's the twist there. It sounds like just like your teenage melodrama at first with a love triangle, but then you get murder and mayhem involved. So a little bit of twist there. It's a great series. It's one of the great independent black and white creator-owned series of like the 90s. Very much inspired by the art and style of like Love and Rockets, but it takes like the formula of Love and Rockets, if you will, especially the Jaime Hernandez Locust stories, and it kind of flips it on its head a little bit and does its own thing. So it's like the opening recipe is Love and Rockets, but then also Terry Moore does take it in places that you wouldn't expect. Also, usually his hood is red. This one feels darker. Yeah, I don't know. Stray Bullets and Strangers in Paradise are two black and white graphic novels I need to read. Really want to read Stray Bullets. Well, you guys both need to read Stray Bullets. It's amazing. It's one of the best crime comics ever, in my opinion. The artwork by David Lapham, his black and white artwork is amazing, and it's to the point that like I prefer his artwork to be in black and white. Whenever I see David Lapham colored in comics, it feels like it takes something away from it. Like doing black and white comics, which I know some people have like an aversion to. It's hard because you have to make all the characters look very distinct without being able to use colors. Like it's easy to make characters look distinct if you like this one's the guy that wears a blue shirt and this one has blonde hair kind of thing. So it's hard to do that in black and white, but David Lapham does an amazing job with it. And he also, Stray Bullets is all done in like 4-panel grids, which is a lot different than your typical comics. But like that formula of the 4-panel grids works, or is it 6-panel grids? I'm sorry. I think it's a 6-panel grid. Works so well though, the way that David Lapham does that. And it's 41 issues. Yes, the Uber Alice edition. Yeah. It's oh, not sure you want to read the thick edition. Yeah, it's that's like the only one that's in print right now, unfortunately. I think like they originally were doing like oversized hardcovers, but they only did 3 volumes of that, so they didn't get through the whole series. And then the trade paperbacks that collect like 6 issues each, I think they've only done for the newer series that follows the first one, which is confusing. But the Uber Alice edition contains the first 41 issues. And I didn't have a problem reading it in that format. I know some people don't like those super thick trades, but the story, each issue is like self-contained. It's a complete story in itself. David Lapham did go through the Jim Shooter School of Writing here. I read Valiant Harbinger with young David Lapham this weekend. And I went to read Stray Bullets. So he worked with Jim Shooter, where he's like every issue needs to be like a self-contained story where it has a beginning, middle, and end. I mean, you can have obviously just like Claremont's X-Men, and any great story, you can have loose threads still like pulling throughout the series, but as far as like you want the whole story to be someone to be able to pick it up and read it and have a complete story. You don't want them to be like, oh, now I have to read 15 other issues to get a complete story. Anyways, does it collect everything? Yeah, so I'll get to that in a second. But each issue, that's not told in chronological order. It's kind of like a Quentin Tarantino Pulp Fiction type deal, where some issues you'll see characters meet their demise, and then that character will be alive in the next issue because it took place beforehand. But all the characters are so fleshed out and amazing. You get to know the characters, you get to love certain characters and hate other ones. But yeah, it's amazing. So the Uber Alice edition includes the first 41 issues, and that's when David Lapham was like, "I'm done with Stray Bullets," and he walked away for a few years. But then he came back, and did the I want to say it's like Thorn and Roses series. Hold on, let me put my mic down, and I'll try to search for it on the Cheap Graphic Novels website. Like Thorn and Roses or something. But there's like he did end up doing like 40 more issues of that series. And those are collected in, I think it's like 6 trade paperbacks. if I remember correctly. Let me just see what we have in stock here. And I've actually not read the follow-up series. I've only read the original 41 issues. Okay, so the Uber Allies edition is in stock. It's $41.99 on CGN, which I guess I can. Why don't I just do this here? Why don't I just show you guys what I'm looking at? All right. This is the. I looked up Stray Bullets on CGN. We have the Shadow Man Classic Omnibus in stock for some classic Valiant. But there's the Uber Allies edition. It's $41.99. It's $18 off through CGN, and that includes the all 41 of the first issues, and that's 1,200 pages for that volume. So the issues are a little bit bigger than your typical issues. And then volume 6, The Killers here, $13.99. I believe this is the follow-up. Do they renumber them though? Let me see. It doesn't say what issues it collects. I'm pretty sure that's the one that follows up the Uber Alice edition. And then Somewhere Out West, Other People. I think these are like the follow-up series. I don't know. Sunshine and Roses. There it is. That's the. Hold on a second. This isn't right. Now I'm beginning to think these are the original series. Inbreeding, eventually they'll be forced horrifying. Okay, so I think these are the original series. Because that's the character on the cover of the first one looks like the first story. Let me see. None of these say those issue numbers, though. It's like, that's not helping me. Okay, 31 through 41. Okay, so these are. So they do have individual trade paperbacks. Here we go. All right. So now I know what's going on. Let me backtrack, rewind a little bit. If you want just the series in thinner trades, they look like to be $13.99, and they look to all be in stock here. So you have The Killers, Somewhere Out West, Other People, Dark Days, and Hijinks and Daring Do. Those and they're all in stock or on special order, which means we can order those. That means they're not out of print. And those 5 volumes will take you through issue 41. So 5 volumes times $14. What is that? $70. So it'll be about $70 if you order the 5 individual trades, or to get the Uber Allies edition for 41. And then Sunshine and Roses is the follow-up series, and that's volume 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we have all those in stock as well. So we have all Stray Bullets in stock right now, which is great. And this includes issues through 32. So that must be the last of the Sunshine and Roses that's been printed. I believe he has, I think in single issues, David Lapham has gotten to issue 40. I'm not sure. But regardless, all of Stray Bullets is in stock right now in 2 different formats. So that's exciting news. All right. I'm currently rereading Bone, the colored slipcase edition, so no excuse not to read it, really. Okay, yeah. The colored slipcase edition. Yeah, so Stray Bullets is all in black and white. But it's one of the great black and white comics. I don't know if that's what you're referring to or not, but I don't have an aversion to black and white. I love black and white art, but I know some people do. But yeah, Bone. I think Bone is actually one of the few series that was originally printed in black and white, but has since been colored, and I think the colored versions actually is my preferred reading experience, I guess, with Bone. All right, so moving on to Wonder Woman, Historia of the Amazons, hardcover. We have 2 different options here. We have the DM cover and the regular cover. And this will be $17.99 if you order through CGN. This is the Kelly Sue DeConnick and Phil Jimenez, Gene Ha and Nicola Scott series. It includes Wonder Woman Historia, the Amazons 1 through 3. It looks to be one of those like more album-sized books too, just based on the picture there. I don't know if it's a Black Label book or not. Here's a Lore Olympus. The paperback version is $15.75. History of the DC Universe hardcover. This is the great series that Marv Wolfman and George Perez did back in the 80s after Crisis on Infinite Earths. They put out this 2-issue series called History of the DC Universe. And it was almost like a Cliff Notes, Wikipedia, Wiki Vomit, if you will. version, but with artwork by George Perez, explaining how all the different events of Crisis on Infinite Earths led to the reboot, if you will, or the pulling all the universes together, all the different Earths together in Crisis, and then what DC was going to look afterwards. It'll be collected in hardcover for the first time, I think. I don't know if it's ever been collected this way, but it'll collect both issues of that. So that'll be really cool. We have Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse trade paperback. This will be $14.99. This is by Dan Slott and Mark Bagley, and it includes issues 1 through 7. This is the new series that came out last year by Dan Slott and Mark Bagley. Includes all 7 issues. That'd be $14.99. We have Chroma by Dave Felici, trade paperback. Lorenzo De Felici is the artist and writer on this. This is from Image Comics. Looks to be like a graphic novel. I guess it includes issues 1 through 4. So it was originally issued out in single issues. Once Upon a Time at the End of the World, Volume 1 trade paperback by Jason Aaron and Alexandre Tefinghi and Nick Dragotta on artwork by Boom Studios. This is the first trade paperback, and it includes all 5 issues of that first volume. Oh, geez. Let me see here. Oh, referring to the thickness of it. Okay, yeah. I just know some people have like thick paperbacks are afraid they're going to crease and whatnot in the spine. And I think my Stray Bullets version did start to crease a little bit in the spine when I was reading it, but I was trying to hold it carefully, I guess, if you will. And I don't prefer that, but also, I mean, I'm not as precious with paperbacks as I am with hardcovers. So the paperbacks I feel like are meant to be kind of like thrown in your backpack and taken on the go kind of thing. So Wonder Woman Historia's Black Label series and has savage art. I mean, paintings level art. Well, that's great to hear. That makes me want to read it. Also, this wiki wasn't me. That was a little tip to the hat for you. Inferno Girl Red, Volume 1, trade paperback. This is from Image Comics. Matt Groom is the writer. Artwork is by Erica D'Urso. It'll be $12.59 if you order through CGN. And I believe this is from the Radiant Black universe, right? The Massiveverse. Yes, Massiveverse series. So like the Kyle Higgins Radiant Black series that launched the Massiveverse. This is a part of that. So you want to make sure you pick that up if you're getting into the Massiveverse. On Origins, Volume 25 trade paperback. These are the standard size trade paperbacks that are collecting Spawn issues all the way through. And they're like the thinner trades if you don't want to go for the compendium route. And I think these do include the covers too, by the way. I think the compendium, I know the compendiums don't include the covers. I think this one does. It'll be issues 147 through 153. That'll be $11.89 next week. Bloodstain, Volume 4. This is from Image Comics. Linda Sejic is the writer and artist on this book. And it's a new volume of Bloodstain. It doesn't say which issues it collects, but it is Volume 4. Nightwing, Leaping into the Light. This is a Tom Taylor and Bruno Redondo series of Nightwing. This is the first volume. This has been collected in a standard size hardcover, but this is the first time it's been collected as a trade paperback. It includes the first, it doesn't say, the first 5 or 6 issues of their Incredible series that's just been getting a lot of hype. So that'll be $10.19. X-Force by Benjamin Percy, Volume 6 trade paperback. So Benjamin Percy's been on the X-Force writing team for a long time. He's also been writing Wolverine in the Krakoa era of X-Men for a long time. This will be $9.59, and it includes issues 34 through 38 of X-Force. Okay. My computer was glitzing out there for a minute. We have 2 more books. This one is Star Wars, Han Solo and Chewbacca, Volume 2, The Crystal Run, Part 2. This is written by Mark Guggenheim. Artwork by David Messina and Paul Fry. It'll be $9.59 and includes Han Solo and Chewbacca, issues 6 through 10. And the last book for today will be called Fan Club, Batman Squad, The Justice of All. This is by Jim Benton. He's writing and doing the artwork on this, and he has the very distinct Jim Benton style. If you've ever seen his artwork on variant covers or just on the online and well, but he is also the artist and writer on Catwad, which is a all ages story that my son loves. So I've showed this already off to him. I'm going to show it off to him again to remind him, but I know he loves Catwad, so he's going to be wanting to pick this up. But Ernest Fan is the world's biggest Batman fan. And as the most knowledgeable about all things superheroic, it is up to Ernest to recruit the finest crime fighters on Earth. Together with his babysitter Harriet, his best friend Jack, and his faithful Fido Ernest, is ready to teach his recruits all about secret identities, best ways to lurk, and how to stop crime. Maybe. Join New York Times bestselling writer-illustrator Jim Benton for the laugh-out-loud adventure of a lifetime. And that will only be $7.79, put out by DC Comics. I'm assuming it'll probably be like digest-sized, if you will. But that is all of the books coming out next Monday. Nightwing Rules, reading it since a year almost now. Yeah, Tom Taylor's been doing a bang-up job on Nightwing. Everyone's loving that series. All right, peace out, guys. Thank you, Lohit. He was saying peace out, not me. I still have to plug a few things. So yeah, this has been a great show. I appreciate you guys watching and commenting and in the chat and whatnot. It's been great seeing you guys. We do this live weekly on Thursdays, usually around noon. This is typically the same time we do this every week. If not, follow us on social media to see when we'll go live. I always post if we're going at a different time. So follow us on Twitter and Instagram at CheapGN to make sure you don't miss out on any sales, any announcements of shows that we're doing, any solicitation announcements, those kinds of things. Don't want to miss out on any of that. You also follow us on Facebook if you search for Cheap Graphic Novels. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up on your way out. Subscribe if you haven't already, so you don't. Another way to make sure you don't miss a show, and share that with your friends. Let them know what we're doing over here. I really appreciate that. It's the best way to support Cheap Graphic Novels. It's also free to do that. Just share on your social media. I know we had a few viewers share on their social media when I asked for that, and I really appreciate that. It's a big thank. The best way to give back, I guess. I don't know. It's very complimentary to me, I guess, to see people share it and whatnot. So yeah, and then make sure to sign up for the weekly newsletter. My name is Taylor. I appreciate that. Everybody have a great week and read more comics.